We're joined now by Ukrainian Member of Parliament, Yevgenia Kravchuk. First of all, Madam Legislator, I want to give you the opportunity. I know the Russian government and Russian government officials, especially Vladimir Putin, tell a lot of lies. Are there any in particular that you heard them saying just now that you want to respond to?
Well, I just see that they sort of believe in their own propaganda because they live in their own world. And Russia wants to show that it's a superpower, but in fact, the GDP of Russia is the same GDP as state of Texas. So it does have oil, it does have gas. This country wants to blackmail the whole world, to threaten the Western civilization, but the West is much stronger. It shouldn't be, covering that the West is stronger. Putin understands only the language of force. I took to the studio a piece of Russian jet, Sukhoi 34. It was shot down by our military in March at the Kiev region. And at the same time, Russians were selling the propaganda that Ukraine doesn't have anything left in their aircraft, no defense system, just fly there, kill people, nothing happens. Here, what happened? We shot them, and we are defending our country. We pushed them away from the north of the country. We're planning the operation to counterattack to the south, and of course to stand, and defend the Donbas area, Donetsk and Luhansk. We need those heavy weapons because it's impossible. I mean, your people in this piece and video told that it's a lot of hard artillery that Russians are using. So
right.
We need. At least to get closer with the numbers of artillery that we use. And then, their morale is really low.
So
our morale is much higher. So, they will flee, but we need those weapons on the ground.
Right, and the United States has been providing a lot of heavy weaponry and a lot of money. I know a lot of countries, other countries in the West, have talked a big game, but not actually provided the weaponry that they have promised. Most notably, Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, called out Olaf Scholz, the Chancellor of Germany, this week. What countries need to step up more? I mean, I understand that you think the U.S. needs to keep doing more, and the United States government is. It's one of the few things that our Congress votes on in a bipartisan way. What other countries need to step up more?
Well, I think that leadership of America is crucial because everyone is looking to America as a leader of a free world. And then, sort of say, okay, Americans are giving that much weapons, we will not give, more, but at least it won't be a much less. So Great Britain is backing us up as well. And of course, Germany and France, we expect, could do more as the leaders, in the European Union. But first of all, I would like to thank for bipartisan support for the $40 billion act that was voted in the Congress. And I'm here, I came here with a delegation from Ukrainian Parliament to meet our counterparts, both in Senate and House of Representatives, to thank them for voting these and to make sure that those money that were allocated are being, transferred to the
right.
weapons that we need, and that needs to happen as soon as possible because we do not have a lot of time before the winter, and Putin is just waiting so West would forget about us.
Yep.
We will go out of the news. Then the winter, the gas prices is sort of like so he will be just sort of waiting for West to blink first.
Right. Well, we haven't forgotten about it here at CNN, but I know other news channels have moved on. Last time you and I spoke was in Ukraine, and you were talking about the importance of designated Russia as a state sponsor of terror. I know that you met with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and you say you had a good conversation with her about that. Why is that important to you? And are you frustrated that President Biden has not taken that step yet?
Thank you for this question. And we did had a good conversation with Nancy Pelosi, and she totally agrees that it's a good step to put forward. Of course, I understand it should be, put in the right way, the right definitions, to talk to Department of State. But she supports it. And actually, as I understood from the meetings in the Senate, there will be a vote for the resolution. Might be a vote, I would say might be a vote for the resolution next Wednesday in the Senate. And I really hope, it will get moving. Why it's so important? Because then other countries, especially in the European Union, will not sort of have other choice. I mean, it's a blacklist of terrorists.